Hey, in this beginner's guide, I'm going to walk you through the upload process step by step to get your first video on YouTube. Let's jump in. And here we are in YouTube on the home page. You want to make sure you're logged into the right channel that you have that you want to upload to. And then the first thing you're going to do is hit the create button up here in the top right. Once you click it, you can do a couple of things. You can go live, do a post, or even upload a video. So we're going to talk about uploading a video. Click that. It's going to open up a new window on the backend studio and then also the pop-up window for uploading a video. All you need to do is select a file or drag and drop a file in here, and it's going to start doing the upload process. So here are a few things that we're going to go over. First, you have the details section, and then you have the preview over here, as well as some different steps we're going to be going through. If you see the optimized score or the things with the vidIQ, vidIQ has a free extension for Google Chrome that you can add to YouTube, and it just gives you some different things that show you some analytics or some of their algorithm optimization type things to help you get a better score on your titles or your descriptions, that kind of thing. So here is my title. It's just basically taking the file name of the video I just put up there and putting it in the title. You can also change that with vidIQ. You can have it do some suggestions and make different ones, but you're going to want to put your title there and then move down to the description. So in the description, I have some defaults. And so you can set this up by going down here to settings. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm in this window of upload, but you can click settings and then you can go to upload defaults and add a default description to all your videos, and then you can just edit it. So here in my description, what I do is I insert kind of the video hook and kind of the main keyword if it's going to be more of a tutorial based video. And that's just one sentence long. It's going to talk about the video just through the hook, and then maybe the keyword is in that video or in that line. And then it's no longer than 95 characters. And the reason I do this is because I want to be able to push people to either another video, or maybe I have an offer or something that isn't a link that I want to link to. If I only use 95 characters or less, then my second line here, which will right now is by default a link to my Confident Creator Kickstart guide, and that's free. You can download that in the description if you want. But what this does with 95 characters is it puts this line by default up above the kind of cutoff where you have to hit more about the description. So essentially, you'll see this when you click on the video. The top of the description will be this first line. Then you'll actually see this and the link itself. And then that means that no one has to click more to see the rest of your description to find that link. They can actually just click that link right below your video and go to whatever you're linking to. So that's just a little cheat that I do there, a little tip that you can take. And then I also have another section which are like other videos to watch, which are my videos, and they're actually playlists. So if someone clicks on these, it sends them to a playlist of videos on my channel so that hopefully they continue to watch my videos and stay longer, which obviously we know YouTube loves. And then further down, I have a couple more kind of free offers or things that I'm trying to do. And then the last thing will be hashtags. So obviously I'll have to write the description and put it there, and then I will add in at least 5 hashtags. You don't need them. They're not like the craziest thing, but they do just add a little bit more fine tuning on the back end. So some hashtags there. Then further down, you'll have the thumbnail area. And so this is where you can auto generate, which I would never suggest doing. It can also just take one from your video, and then you can upload a file there by clicking this and then selecting the file that you need, or just drag and drop it over this as well. I would suggest, if you have the time to create multiple thumbnails, even if it's just like 2, try to make them a bit different than each other. Not just the same one with just a little bit text, like change the formatting of the thumbnail a little bit, but test and compare can help you just kind of analyze what's being clicked on, what's not. I will say from the research that I've done, it's not 100% accurate. It's probably like 70% accurate. So as far as the numbers it gives you, don't take it like it's golden, the golden word. Like it's not a gold bullet. It's not like, oh, okay, that thumbnail definitely won. sometimes it gets a little off. But if there's a clear winner where it's like 80% use this thumbnail and only 20% use this thumbnail, obviously that means that 80% thumbnail is probably going to be a better choice for you. So you can test and compare. I would advise that's a great way of doing it. But starting out, it's not necessary. Just upload a thumbnail here just by itself. And then you can ignore some of this. A lot of this stuff you're not going to see because this is the vidIQ addition little thing for Chrome and then extension. And then here's the playlist section. So here is where you can select playlists. So I would suggest making some playlists with your videos because like I said in the description, you can link it. And then when they click on that, they watch that video, but it also on the side shows like a bunch of your videos. And then maybe that leads to them watching your content a little bit longer. So using playlists is smart. And then moving down, we have audiences. And so for here, basically this is just legal stuff that you have to go through and tell them whether or not this is made for children or for kids. You will almost always put no, unless you are making content specifically and only for kids. Not if whether or not kids can watch your stuff. That doesn't matter. It's if it's made specifically for kids. Your monetization and all kinds of stuff will be totally different if you select yes. So most likely it's no, unless it's literally your audience is kids and not adults at all. Then you can select yes. You can also add age restrictions, which is not the case for most of our channels. Then you have paid promotions. This is something that a lot of bigger channels don't even do, even though they have paid promotions in them. All this will do is put a little tag at the top of the video on the right side or left side when you're watching, and it'll say, hey, this video has paid promotions or whatever. So if you have a sponsor in the video or whatever, you should push, check that box, but most likely, and most of the time, most people don't. So you probably won't have that starting out, so you don't have to worry about it. And then this is really just to see if you have AI content or altered content. So most likely that's no. So I would just check no there. Check yes if you have to, but read through all that description. And then we have things like automatic chapters. And you would think that that's a great thing to do if you're adding chapters. I don't do that because I find that it never does a good job, or not never, but the majority of the time it's slightly off. So it's adding chapters after I've made that key point, or it's just putting them in kind of random places that I don't like. So if I'm going to add chapters, I'm going to do it manually. And to do that, you go up to the description, and let's just say I was going to add it right here after this. You don't even have to type chapters. You just have to have 00, the colon, and then 00, and then you could put like intro or whatever. And then when you go down, you put 00, and then whatever, or the time of the other one. Let's say it was at 1 minute and 23 seconds. So that's how you just kind of do that process, and that will add those chapters to the video, and they'll kind of show up as chapter markers on the playhead as well. So that's what chapters are, but I don't typically do them. I find that people tend to jump around too much. So some of the times, unless it's like just a simple tutorial and I want them to be able to rewatch certain parts, if it's not like that, then I don't put chapters in it, because what people do is they'll just kind of click next and then click next. And when they get out of context, they can quickly just leave the video. So I don't think it really helps unless it's a really long video with a lot of different topics covered, or like a tutorial type thing. Okay, the next thing would be featured places. I uncheck this. I don't want it to put into places automatically, because, or like to tag this. I'm not in a public place or restaurant or anything like that. I'm in my house. So I don't need any of that stuff done, because some of that can get quirky. And then automatic concepts is also different, and I don't like it too much. I mean, you can leave it on there. I don't know how much it affects it, but I just uncheck it because, one, it's an experiment. So as a small channel, I'm not sure I want to be involved in an experiment because it might mess up some of the things we're doing, but maybe that will change over time. And then the tag section is where you're going to want to put tags in. So a tag is just a word or a phrase followed by a comma to separate it. that has to do with your video. So you'll just put in tags here. And so like down here, you see there's like another TubeBuddy is another like free plugin you can add on there, but they have suggestions that I could do, or I could do a keyword inspector with this and it would pull up, you know, some keywords from vidIQ. But you also can just add your own tags. There's a 500 character limit here. Tags are not used as much for search anymore, but they are used to clarify maybe what your video is about. So it just gives more information to YouTube. It can't hurt. It's not an end all. It doesn't make it like 10 times better. It's not going to magically give you better SEO. It's just to help clarify to YouTube what your video is about. So you definitely want to use them, but don't be too worked up about those. And then scroll down, ignore this. This is all those extra add-ons. And then we have language and captions. I don't touch any of this stuff. English is my language, so I leave it there. License, I don't touch it. You can adjust this. You can go to Creative Commons, which means other people can use your video and just give you attribution. So if you trust people to give you attribution and use it, then you can put that on there. I just leave it as standard. And then I do allow embedding. So if I want to put it on a different website or whatever, I want my video to be able to do that, as well as I publish to the subscription feed, which just means if you have subscribers who have clicked the bell notification and they want to be notified of your videos, this will publish it out to them. It'll push it onto their feed so that they see your video. Then you have shorts remixing, which right now that can be changed in a different, like it's processing, so I can't adjust it right now. But it'll basically have some checkboxes, which I leave checked, which means people can create shorts by clipping your video and pieces of your video and talking about it and kind of reacting to it or whatever. And I think that's just free publicity. So I leave those checked, or I check those, and because I think it's okay. Hey, like take a clip of what I'm saying and make a video on it. That's great. I don't mind that at all. And then category. So I do mostly educational. So I'm talking about how-tos, or like just obviously with growing a YouTube channel. Okay. So the shorts, it just stopped processing. So you can kind of see this: allow video and audio remixing. So I just leave that on. Sorry, that was a little going back, a little ADHD moment there, but categories, I leave on education for the most part. I don't know how much this dictates where you go. I just know it does kind of put you and kind of lumps you into different categories. So getting somewhat right with that is good. I do education. Most of the time it's how-to or like a concept overview or something like that. So this would be a how-to video that I'm recording right now. And you can put like timestamps in there as well. And then academic system, I changed to none because I'm not really in an academic system, even though this is an educational video. I leave that to none. Now you can just go up here and use like a how-to style or like people and blog or whatever. You don't have to use educational. So just kind of do some research and figure out what's best for your channel and your videos. And then the comments, I just leave it where it's at, basic moderation on, and then like top down, because that's pretty much how every video is. Most people keep it there. And then I always would keep this, how many likes you get on the video, because that's just kind of like social proof there. So that is the whole details section of your upload. And then you can move on to the next section, which is video elements, which I will not be able to do right now because it's still kind of going through the checks and everything else. And the processing, but you can add, like what I do is I'll add an end screen, and it's literally just one video. So at the end of each video, I'll have another video pop up that they can click on and watch. And that's like the last 7 seconds of the video. And then you have the checks, which this will go over and check whether or not you have some copyright issues. And then I'll hit next again. And now you have the visibility. This is your last step to publishing and finishing the upload of your video. You can do private, unlisted, public. I like to get it all the way to 4K. So see how mine is in 4K is processed completely. So since I've been talking this whole time, it's done. So I would actually, if I wanted to publish now, I would just click public and I would hit publish and I'd publish it. You can also schedule time. So you can come down here and you can pick the date and the time zone and all this stuff and hit schedule, and it'll publish at that exact time. as well as if you set it to Premiere. So the cool thing about the Premiere, it's almost like a live stream without being a live stream. So if you have like a longer tutorial or webinar type video, you can set it as a Premiere. It gets a little bit special branding-ish type stuff on your channel to make it stand out, like, hey, this is a Premiere at this time. It notifies your subscribers so they know before it goes live that it's going to publish. It goes on your YouTube channel, so it'll be on your YouTube channel before it's published saying, hey, this is going to publish, or this is going to premiere at this time or whatever. So it kind of gives a little bit more hype to it, like an event. And the other cool thing is it plays back live. So at that time it starts playing for everyone who's attending that premiere, and it plays live, and you're able to comment like a live stream. You're able to comment on your video with the other commenters that are, they're going at the same time while it's playing back live. So that's kind of cool. I would only use that every once in a while for very special occasions. Otherwise, people will get annoyed by all the premieres you're doing. But you can select that, and you can and do that. But you can also come up here. There's private. So if you didn't want anyone else to see it other than just you having it, or unlisted, where you can share links. But no, it's not going to be on your YouTube channel at all. But whoever has a link can watch it. You can do that as well. And then once you do that, you just click save, and you're good to go. Like it's up. Here's the link to copy and share, and you're good to go. You have it uploaded. You're done. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have questions about the upload process, drop them in the comments below. Again, I have a link to the creator starter pack below that helps you just get some clarity and confidence on camera. You can download that for free down in the description below. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.